All right, so let's talk to the Leadtime leader.
Ray will tell you the same thing. It's worth every minute you put into it because of not only what it teaches you about your company, but what it does for the team.
Yep.
I mean, our team was already inspired because they knew what we were doing. This is why I'm asking you all these questions, and this is why I'm running around with first my video camera and photos. And by the way, once it was done, now they're coming, and they were excited and they were incredibly proud. And I mean, not just the guys with 20, 30 years under their belt, but the apprentices went,
What?
We won. I mean, it's like I'm part of a winner here.
Welcome back to another MMT Chat. I'm Christina Fuges with MoldMaking Technology, and my guests today are our 2024 Leadtime Leader Award winners from Dynamic Tool Corporation in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. I always get that wrong. Dan Gouge and John Berg. Hello, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Christina.
Thank you.
How are you?
We're well. It's been a fun week.
It has been a fun week and a busy week.
Very memorable week.
I wonder why. So being the Leadtime leader and having that announced, what comes with that is a cover story, is a feature, a video feature that comes out in our June issue, and June 1st, it's all online. So look for that. That will tell the backstory and the story of Dynamic Tool. So I thought we could talk today about the future.
Yeah.
And let's look a little bit forward. The article teases a little bit about a developmental center, things like that. So Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about where the company's going?
Yeah, so we've had a lot going on, obviously, and you cover that in the June issue. So I won't say a lot about that because you guys can read about that in the issue, but going forward, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We're still doing office makeovers in the manufacturing facilities. At the old manufacturing facility, we brought on the new facility, which will be our development center, because we were landlocked with the main manufacturing facility. So we're going to take the noise of the sampling area out of that facility and put it into the new facility. Have a customer care center, enhanced engineering as well, and then we have some exciting stuff coming up that I can't talk about today, but we will make sure you're the first to know.
Darn, I thought I was going to get some breaking news today.
Well, we could go so far as to say I would say, significantly expand our capabilities and our abilities to serve our customers in the developmental process.
Okay.
That's certainly a little bit out of the box for an injection mold builder.
Yeah, it's been one of the things that our customers have been asking for. It's one of the things in the pipeline in their pipeline as far as when products start, and we're generally on the back end of things on a lot of things. How do we get to the front of the line on a lot of that stuff? So we want to be able to.
All right, well, you got my brain thinking. So yeah, make sure you let MMT be the one to tell that part of the story, an extension of the story.
We will let you do that.
All right, so let's talk a little bit, since we're here at MPE. What has it been like? What's the show been like? What are you hearing out there? And how's it been since you won the award on Tuesday night?
Do you want to go first?
I would take that because I've been absolutely pleased with the show as a whole. Monday started out the way you'd expect, as people working their way through the show floor, and maybe it took a few moments to get to the booth. But once it started happening, it was very regular, very frequent. And we were just absolutely pleased with a number of existing customers that visited us. So pleased to see them, meet some new members of their teams, or some of the divisions we hadn't yet worked with, and honored to be introduced to them by those customers who have now come to consider us collaborators and even friends. And then quite a few new customers, including some names that, quite frankly, I was not aware of. Medical device packaging, caps and closures people that have started new companies, as an example. Just before I came here, I met with an old friend in the industry, someone who I had known for 20 plus years and had always associated exclusively with one company. And he is now with a new company, and they're opening up a molding facility here in the United States. They're headquartered in Europe. And he said that now they're on the hunt for a good tooling source and a legitimate developmental partner. And he said one of the first he thought of was Dynamic, and he had to come over and make a solid connection with his partner in the business. So that, to me, that I can't think of a better compliment to be paid by someone you not only consider a business associate and a friend, and then they trust you to the point where it's an important decision for them, obviously. This is a new adventure for them, and he's working with somebody new to him, and he thinks that highly of us, that he would bring them over and spend some time in our booth so that his associate gets to know us and gets a feel for dynamic. And that's really just one of several dozen meetings we've had this week. So the show was, in my eyes, it was a success at the end of the day Monday, and Tuesday just got better. The traffic was better.
That's a great example of the value of events like this and just being in person. Those things won't happen if you don't get outside of the shop, right? And mingle with people and put yourself out there. There's nothing like being in person.
And I think too, this event especially, and we have a lot of very good trade events in America, obviously, and not everything has to be of this scope, obviously, but because of the size and scope of this event, and how it shows off the myriad of processes in our industry, every one of them important, to the different companies and the different products we have. You cannot help but walk through the halls and get inspired by the energy you see in the booth, the new technologies, and the investment that people have put in to make a solid first impression on some people,
absolutely.
Or to be inviting. And certainly walking by the press manufacturers and seeing the high-speed robotics, the automation systems. It's you're gonna go back, get back to work and you're charged up. And it's just the best feeling.
It's motivating. Motivating.
And while we didn't have any explosions going on in our booth, we've got some videos, clips running, and we have some equipment on display. I'm hoping, based on the feedback that we've received, it sounds like we did a little inspiring ourselves. So we're really just pleased to be here.
Are you hearing anything, people coming up to the booth? Any trends in what people are coming to talk to you about? Any unique challenges or things that are, tell me about that.
Let me grab that if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'm gonna say it this way. We've had a lot of people that have come just because our community, our toolmaking community has shrunk, right? How many 27-year-olds do you know that have started shops?
Yeah, exactly.
Recently? We haven't had a lot of that, right? And
No.
That's disappointing at the end of the day. I think just one of the experiences that's hit me hard, and that we've been to a lot of these shows. I've never had this happen, and it happened multiple times over the course of this week. We've had different customers tell different companies to come to Dynamic because you need to go to Dynamic. And that's been something where I've never had that in any of my other years here, which I thought it was a one-off, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and we've had it multiple times to happen, and it's just, wow, we must be doing something right.
So I was going to ask you, I have to ask, so what do you think is setting you apart from other manufacturers that is happening? What is it?
It would be difficult to say it's one thing, but I think it's that legitimately fully staffed and resourced integrated approach that we take to legitimately understanding a customer's focus and their end goal, not only as a business, but in that specific product line that they're bringing us. And we fare best, as I've told a number of new visitors to us, and they asked almost identically, so what sets you apart? Now, I have heard good things about you. I saw you won the Leadtime Leader Award, and they came over to congratulate us and learn a little bit more. But really, what sets you apart, John? Why is, they've asked everyone in the booth that, and I'm telling everyone it's the same thing. It comes down to the people in our company, and that we insist on doing our homework to the very best of our ability, getting an understanding of where they need to be, and making absolutely the best practices recommendations we can, whether that has to do with steel selection, cooling channels, thermal control, what have you, cavitation, ejection systems. We fare our best when we're not just treated as one of 5 or 10 RFQ destinations. And we certainly get our share of those, but I think when we really shine is when a molder or an OEM has done their homework and has decided these 1, 2, or 3 shops look like a really good fit. And instead of just sending them an RFQ, let's get them on a phone, let's get on a Teams meeting, or let's fly to Milwaukee and let's meet these guys and let's see if they're all they claim to be. And we welcome that challenge. Yeah. And we're ready, whether you come on a Monday or a Tuesday, or it's this month or 3 months from now, there's gonna be steel on our floor, steel in the bench, and steel in our presses that will make our case.
So when it comes to your people, how would you say Dynamic is training for that future mold building professional?
Yeah, there's 2 things. experience matters, and we have that, and youth matters, and we have that as well. You can't create a tool maker overnight. You know, it's a long, drawn out process. There's not a lot of kids in line for those jobs, but you have to find the ones that have the aptitude and the ability to do the job. And it's one of the things that we've challenged our shop. You know, when we first took over, it was like we'd have one apprentice going through the program. No, this year we're going to do 2 in 6 months, and then as we're building up now, it's the challenges. Can we get 3 going?
Yeah,
you know,
I like
it's just keep building that machine, and hopefully we can get there. So John's done a good job on the marketing side with a bunch of our other people, and it's the future.
And Cassidy,
so you gotta build
learning all about Cassidy
Yes.
and the whole internal effort from someone that's so passionate, that already had the recruiting background, correct?
Yeah.
She was already kind of in
Right.
that world with the school system, I guess. And to make that part of her job within the shop, I just think that's...
I mean, there's that combination of the daughter of a tool maker who has this built-in passion for education and an understanding of the student mindset. And she just like instinctively combined that and proactively became an extension of the staff of several high schools, where she goes in and helps train and helps how to create a resume effectively. What's going on in manufacturing. Here's what's exciting. Here are some exciting new processes that we brought in. And obviously these are high schools, technical colleges that have very substantial tooling or CNC presence. They've made that commitment to the students, and that quite frankly is shrinking a little bit. There's a great many high schools that there isn't even a shop option anymore. So we made it a point to seek those schools out in our area, and we aim to support them with more than lip service. Hey, send your kids here? No, we're coming to you. How can we help you, and how can we help you keep educating them and get them inspired enough to want to knock on our door? Go ahead.
About a month ago, we had our open house where we bring in kids and parents, and you know, they come through our facility, and it's not dirty manufacturing, right? It's as clean manufacturing as you can possibly have, and people are just blown away because we don't show enough. At the end of the day, we don't show enough, right? We hold everything.
I can see the parents' eyes opening up more than the kids' eyes, because they're the ones that sometimes are the ones pushing the kids outside of the trades, right? Because they have preconceived notions about it.
Right. So it's one of the things we probably got to do a little bit more of. We still do. We do a lot, but we still probably got to do more of it at the end of the day. And again, we'll see
you
where we
will.
take it.
All right. So let's talk to the Leadtime leader. Let's get back to a little bit of what I need you guys for, to help promote the value of what you went through. Talk a little bit about. I know, John, you were instrumental in getting this to happen, getting the wheels in motion, which happens a lot. Somebody needs to drive that process, because it's not a simple ABC company, we're a mold builder, and you submit it. There's homework there. So talk a little bit about what that entailed and why it was worth it.
Well, it's, you know, the questions that you send for consideration and for filling out, in some ways are relatively daunting. Because while it may be, well, they are. It's you, and your first inclination is, well, I want to work my way through this, and I want to do a good job. And how can I answer that as briefly as possible? And the more I dove into it, I realized that wasn't the best way to do this. I had to first get a really fundamental understanding of what that question was going for, and then sit down with Dan, sit down with Steve and Ken, and then walk through the tool shop and walk through our design group. Talk to Dave Miller, talk to Dave Horahan, talk to Scott Mantnier, and talk to our apprentices. All right, what made you come here? What did you see? And I started making notes, and I started categorizing responses, and talk to Dan again about the machinery that's coming in and why it's coming in. And again, categorizing and then presenting that first rudimentary plan of response to Dan and Steve and Ken, and the little tweaks happen, and before you know it, the hours start mounting up, and I'm thinking, wow, I've got a lot of time invested in this, and so do all my colleagues here at work. But once you get going into it, you start defining who you are, and you learn about yourself, and you learn about each other. And any tool shop that asks me, and I will tell you, our good buddy Ray Coombs from Westminster stopped by this morning to visit our booth. And Ray will tell you the same thing. It's worth every minute you put into it, because of not only what it teaches you about your company, but what it does for the team.
Yep.
And it's one thing that, I mean, our team was already inspired because they knew what we were doing. This is why I'm asking you all these questions, and this is why I'm running around with first my video camera and photos. And by the way, once it was done, now they're coming, and they were excited and they were incredibly proud. And I mean, not just the guys with 20, 30 years under their belt, but the apprentices went,
what?
We won. I mean, it's like, I'm part of a winner here, and when the video gets published and, the news went out already, I saw the emails the email started buzzing around the shop right away where, everybody's copying everybody and sharing the link. And it's just the neatest thing to see.
I forgot to even ask you about that. But once it got let loose, like, were you people emailing
Absolutely.
each other? Like, what are they talking about?
The thank you or the congrats from the customers that started rolling in.
That's wonderful.
Was so cool. People who visited our booth because we won.
Yeah, so that's what I want to hear. Exposure.
Absolutely.
I like that it was completely collaborative. It wasn't a single person that took on the job of filling out a form, because that is the exercise we want you to go through. I have to ask, was there, either one of you, was there something you learned about each other, the company, that like came to light going through that process that you didn't know about yourself?
I want to say it this way. John sent the questions to all the management at in the beginning. I need 15 minutes with you, each and every one of you, right? Which probably turned into a half an hour, which wasn't a bad thing though, because you had such a broad range of questions,
right?
That we did need to talk about that stuff longer,
right?
And then we get together at the end in a big group setting and kind of go through a lot of the people's answers, and maybe we're not on the same page on that, or we are pretty aligned on that. So I think it did bring up some really good talking points for us internally.
I love it.
And you learn about, you're predisposed because of somebody's background, a tool maker like Dan, and the way he came through the industry versus Kenny or Steve or Scott. And they all have their own perception based on perhaps where they spent the most time in the shop or where they started learning in the shop. And now they're getting the perceptions and the feedback from their colleagues, the colleagues they love and trust because they're working together and they've worked together for so many years. And you can just see they're looking and, I'm getting, wow, all right, that's how you saw that. And now I've got a different slant on that. And you get this level of appreciation for each other's experiences. And then you realize it's just making you stronger and stronger as a team. And now you can rely on each other even more.
Yeah, brought you closer.
It brings you closer.
Does somebody hang the banner up now, or you wait until you get back?
Well, that's a darn good question,
right?
And I can't answer it from Florida. But that banner is going to go up. That I'll guarantee you, and we're going to push it. I mean, we're very, very proud of the award. We took it very seriously. We did a lot of homework, and we engaged the entire company.
It's wonderful.
In this award, from soup to nuts and A to Z. Everybody was on board. Everybody participated. And yeah, that banner is going up in the shop right by our flag.
I love it.
And
well, on that
this is a big deal.
On that note, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna encourage people out there to nominate their shops for next year's Leadtime Leader Awards competition to keep this going. They're a great testimonial as to why it is of value, and it's gonna go on. It's just begun, gentlemen. So hold on. And you, sir, keep me posted on this news.
Absolutely.
So congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you. And that's it.